Hello, you soggy cheddar fries. Jim Sterling here, and this is Alienation, Housemarque's latest title. It is a loot 'em up. I do like that term. Basically, people have been comparing it to Destiny and Diablo, and it's kind of that sort of thing. A lot less Destiny. I think it was videogamer.com. They brought up the Destiny stuff, and considering I think Destiny's rubbish, and I think this is quite good, I don't think it's that comparable to Destiny, because Destiny is rubbish. But this is quite good. I mean, it's to be expected from Housemarque, really. They ain't bad at what they do. They sure as shit ain't bad at what they do, and what they're doing here is pretty darn fun. It is, as you can see, a stick shooter, and it's got RPG elements, loot drops and that sort of thing, character classes. I'm playing the character class that does healing and poisony things, and basically just my kind of character class, really. Got a rifle and a shotgun. I don't know if this is the super rare shotgun I've got yet. I've got a legendary shotgun, which I don't think I'm going to need to drop for like the next 10 levels. It's ridiculous. But yeah, as you see there, like loot drops of various rarities and things like that. The game's pretty generous about dropping new guns for you to make sure that you're not under-leveled for stuff. It's fun to collect things, you know, as is often the way. With these sorts of games, you've got a full-on leveling system with abilities that you can upgrade and all that kind of stuff. Here I'm just diddling around with the menu there. You see the weapons have slots underneath them sometimes. You see where the weapon model is, and underneath that you've got slots. You can put in different upgrade slots on that, so that's good. Yeah, I as usual with a PS4 game, I've logged stuff on PS4 Share, so I just got 15 minutes of a game of one of the games I played. Actually, I've got two 15-minute things, but I don't know if I'll use the second one in another video or not, but who knows. But this is stuff I recorded earlier, and I'm talking about it, which gives it, I guess, a bit more of a, not a review flavour per se when I do it like this, but certainly a laid-back, review-light kind of thing. I do plan to give this a full written review on thejimquisition.com. Until then, you know, this is just some laid-back thoughts on it. I'm not, like, mega deep into the game per se, progress-wise, but I've played it for a good old fair while now. And I am, yeah, like I said, enjoying it. I'm not as into it as some people are. I know some people have been praising this to high heaven, but for me, Helldivers was the one that really sort of revved my engine, and this I'm not enjoying as much as Helldivers. That's not to say that I think this is, you know, a notably inferior experience. It's a darn lot of fun. It's actually stopped me playing Dark Souls 3 for a bit. Not entirely. In fact, I was just playing Dark Souls 3 before I went to record this, but there you go. But it's weaning me off, which is probably good for me in the long run. So that's fun, isn't it? Been playing Severed as well. I've been busy as hell this week, getting reviews written, editorials done. I might do a second Jimquisition this week, because I want to talk about the thing that was mentioned at the end of the last episode, the whole content ID deadlock thing that I ran. I mean, Kotaku seemed to think it was good enough to write a whole article about, calling it brilliant, thank you. So I figured, actually I was already planning to do that on Monday. Once I saw that the thing worked exquisitely, I was like, you know what, do an extra Jimquisition, people would like that. They do like a bonus show of a week. So I might do that, on top of everything else I've been doing. Playing games for review like this one, and Severed, which is on PS Vita, and I've not turned on my PS Vita in a long time, and that's fun. Reminds me of Infinity Blade, but crossed with a, you know, one of those old like wizardry style dungeon crawling RPGs. It's interesting, and I'm not very far into it at all yet, but I really like where it's going. So one of the drawbacks with this game is, it's 4-player co-op, but one of the players is the squad leader, and you're kind of tethered to them. There is an invisible maximum distance you can, you know, stray away from them, which can be very annoying, especially because, no offense to the guy playing here, they were kind of dithering a lot. A lot of not knowing where to go and wandering off or just not moving, which restricted what everyone else could do. And it can get very annoying when you're like in the middle of a fight, because sometimes these fights are so, I mean, you can just see this, the sheer amount of chaos on the fucking screen. I mean, we all died here, terrible showing, but the sheer amount of chaos on the screen is such that you can get like drawn into a fight fighting wave after wave of aliens and moving forward as you do it, like pressing through their ranks, only to get like grabbed and snatched back to the squad leader for going too far. You get the timer on, you know, the meter at the top of the screen warning you it's going to happen, but sometimes you get so into the fight you're not paying attention to that because you're trying to stay alive, and then you just get yanked out of it, and it's very, you know, it really breaks the flow of the game, and it's just annoying. You know, I understand the reasons for doing it to try and keep the party together, you know, but if the squad leader ain't playing ball, it can be very frustrating, very, very frustrating indeed. So that's one issue I have with it. The other is the reloading. It's just, with the sheer amount of enemies, ammo clips could stand to be maybe a bit bigger. There are upgrades where you can improve that, and, you know, guns as you get higher level equipment. Terrible. Why the hell did I include this footage? This is bad. Anyway, whatever. I'm not brilliant at it anyway. I'm not that worried about it. But I am enjoying it. It's fun. That's what matters. Oh yeah, this bit pissed me off because the characters, like a single hit can break whatever your character's doing. This character here couldn't resurrect any of us because of whatever's behind that force field just lobbing shit. And of course, because that character's not the squad leader, they couldn't run off anywhere and have everyone like warp to them. That character would go too far and warp back here where the blue fella is. So just had to die in the end. There was nothing that could be done. I don't know if I've ever seen, unless everyone just sarcastically saying nice, which is the only way to use the nice dialogue command, I've noticed. It's just people being sarcastic with it. But yeah, I've not seen many other co-op games where resurrecting someone like breaks like that. There are some. I think I know if you take enough damage, I think in Left 4 Dead it can happen. Usually if you take enough damage, but here it's like a single hit from even a small enemy and the resurrection resets, which again, in a game this chaotic and laden with bullets and monsters and explosions, again, it makes it frustrating. It is difficult to resurrect some people. I mean, you know, the punishment for trying to resurrect in the middle of a battle should be you're taking damage, not so much that it's literally impossible to resurrect someone, especially in this situation, in this level, with that missile that keeps hitting you. But anyway, those are the two main gripes I have. Otherwise, I'm finding it very, very enjoyable. You know, it's as far as your isometric shooter dungeon crawly style hybrids go, this is up there. Like I said, it's no Helldivers as far as I'm concerned, but I'm comparing it to a game I thought was fucking superb. So it's not saying too much about this game's quality that it's not quite as good as Helldivers for me. But it's, I mean, fuck, it's definitely, if you've gotten tired of that game, this will sort you. This is a new fresher thing. It's faster paced. It's tougher, I think, than Helldivers. It's certainly a lot more aggressive, and just the sheer amount of shit on screen. Sometimes I totally lose track of where I am and what's going on. It's got an active reload. You press in the right stick to reload, which I still haven't gotten used to. And if you press it again when the reload meter, when the gauge is in the middle of the meter, I should say, if you press it again, you see that green thing, then you reload quicker. It's something I'm still trying to get myself used to. It's just odd odd in this type of game. We're used to seeing it in your more traditional third-person cover shooters, your Gears of Wars, etc. Whereas here it's a little bit little bit odd with it's so much visual information on the screen. The game uses the DualShock 4 it uses the speaker on that to make the reload noises clear, so you get a fairly decent idea for it, and you eventually learn the timing of it. But as you can see, I'm still messing it up when I'm in the middle of a big scrum. It's just tough to concentrate sometimes, but it's fun that it's there. I'm always fond of the whole active reload thing. I find it a fun little gimmick to add to a game, you know. A lot of explosions in this game, as you can see. Lots of things exploding. You shoot a car too many times, it explodes. Half the enemies explode. There are many explosive devices. Lots of explosions. Lots of explosions going down. So here we are calling in a helicopter to end the mission. We've got a minute to do it. I am fairly certain we actually die again. This team is not we weren't at our best. Let's just say that much. I think this might be my legendary shotgun, actually. I like the shotgun, it's good. Not normally a shotgun user in any type of game, but here, you know, against enemies that come at you in such huge, ridiculous hordes, the shotgun with its spread and the power of it up close is good. Risky, because you can get mullered in seconds by enemies in this game. Because, like I say, they are so hostile and so many of them. They do like to surround you, and they can chew you down in seconds. But I mean, you just saw how much health went off me there. But if you've got a fully loaded shotgun and you just charge into them, spraying it, then you can normally like just cleave through an entire fucking thing. And here we were again, just slingshotted over to the squad leader, who was nowhere near where they were meant to be. You know, it's a crying shame. It's a crying shame. Oh well. I realised as well I didn't use my abilities very much in this particular level. I don't know why. I don't know why I neglected to use them. But the character I use can emit a poison trail anywhere they walk, which is good when you're being chased by enemies and you're like running backwards shooting at them and they just sort of walk into the poison gas. Can also send out a swarm of weird little, I guess they call them nanomachines, but basically they're just things that come out of you and seek enemies out and do damage. So that's fun. And everyone gets a grenade sort of in the equipment slot, which I think I've used at some point here, but instead of the grenade I'm using a boomerang, which just sort of flies out and just cuts through enemies and comes back to you, and that's a lot of fun to use. I like it quite a bit. And of course my character's main ability is healing, which I do remember to use. So that's fun. Yes it is. Yeah, it's not a game I find myself able to play for like hours and hours on end. That's something I've noticed with it. I'm like, I'll do a level or two, and then I'm happy for a bit. I'll like give it a rest and come back. Just because, I don't know, I don't want to use the word repetitive, because there's a lot of different enemies and you can get a lot of guns and stuff, so there's enough to come back. But I would just say the gameplay itself is just grindy enough to where a break in between sessions is a good idea. I think that's nice. I think that's a good way of putting it. Because I don't want to sound too disparaging of it, if only for the fact because I don't want to give the wrong impression about my feelings on it, because I really do like this. Plus I've slagged off enough games this week to keep me going. So, yeah. I mean, it is a bit repetitive. But yeah, that's fine. I mean, a game like this, you don't expect it to keep reinventing the wheel, you know. It knows what it's doing. It's good at what it does. And at this point we thought it would be a good idea to jump in the helicopter, except one player didn't manage it. So they're dead, and we're just going to fly away and leave them. Sorry about that. Sorry, but we got away, so... Anyway, that was Alienation. Hope you enjoyed it. Me. Best one best one. That's why I'm celebrating, and they're all looking sad. So that's good. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be back with something else at some other point. Bye.